This is it. This is episode 296 of No Laugh Track Podcast. We are here on the stage at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis. My name is Justin Severson. I host this thing, Circle of Heat's music you heard there. And sitting across from me on the stage, her third time on this podcast. Yes. Martha Kelly's here.
Hello.
And last time we were here was a little over a year ago for Crash and Burn.
Yeah, it was just like 1 year in April,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So I have to ask, I have memories of Crash and Burn. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that real quick.
Okay.
It's been a little over a year now. Are you still happy you did it? I know I talked to you probably a day or two into it, so you had to finish that week.
Yeah, it was really fun, and Emily Galati and Brian Miller and I have kept in touch. And
Good.
So Emily came here Wednesday night, and we had dinner, and then she did a guest set, and it was super funny. And then Brian came last night, but he came for a little bit Wednesday, so we had a reunion.
Oh, cool.
And then he came last night. I think he's coming tomorrow night too. And
cool.
And I'm probably going to meet his cats this weekend. So I'm excited.
Wait, Brian has cats? Have I learned that?
Yeah. Or I don't know. Yeah, he and his wife have 2 cats.
Okay.
And they look a lot like my cats. So.
How many do you have right now?
2.
2. Dog?
1 dog named Rosie, and the cats are Gary and Barry.
Okay.
And they are really sweet.
Did you travel with them this time?
No, I did. Actually, the picture of me that's at the ticket desk or at the front desk.
Yeah, you look like a cat?
That's my kit. That was my cat, Henry. He died of feline leukemia when he was right about a year old. It was right before... Yeah, it was right before I came here, or right when I got home. I can't remember, but he passed away, and then a few weeks later I got Gary and Barry from the same shelter, and they are healthy. I'm not sorry I had Henry, but it is nice to have cats that will be around for a while.
Henry was the one that took the trip to Minnesota?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Henry and Rosie came with me.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was quite a trip.
You didn't drive this time?
No, I flew because from here I'm going to California and then Santa Fe, so... flying instead of driving.
Oh, actually, yeah. I read about why you're going to California, or at least one of the things you're doing.
Yes, FX got us jobs at Arby's, and I'm partly excited because I love seeing everybody, but I'm also a little nervous because my fast food experience as a teenager was not good. I'm afraid it. And also, when I was a teenager, my first job was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I kept a bottle of vodka at work to make it less terrible. And so I'm a little nervous, but I won't have any vodka this time.
Right. Your sobriety still going strong?
Still sober.
That's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I read about. So you're gonna you and the Baskets gang are going to be like literally serving. You're going to be behind the counter serving meals.
I guess I thought they were just having like a marketing event there where we were just going to hang out, and I never know what to do at stuff like that.
Is this connected to the Emmys or something?
I think it's their like, what is it called? It's all the networks do these for your consideration things.
FYC.
Yeah.
For your consideration, right?
So that's what I think this is like. Maybe if people are served curly fries from people on a TV show, it will make them vote for an Emmy. I don't totally get it, but I do. The FX marketing department has been so supportive of us since before we even finished shooting the first season. And I love them. So I'm happy to do anything that they cook up, but I'm a little nervous about it. Is that a pun, saying
cook up?
I mean, I realized right when I said it was a terrible pun, but it was too late.
You said it.
Yeah, we'll see. It's always fun with Zach and Louie and Jonathan Kreisel. They're all sweet, fun people.
Yeah.
So.
How long did the job at KFC last as a teenager?
Less than a year. when the owner found my bottle of vodka at work.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was concerned and wanting to help, like an after-school special, a teenager with a drinking problem and a concerned adult. But I was like, how dare you go through my things when I wasn't here, and I quit. So not a good sign for my future alcoholism.
Yeah.
But I will say when I worked there, I did love eating Kentucky Fried Chicken and their mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah. That was pre-Famous Bowl, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Famous Bowl.
I don't think I've had it. I love their biscuits. You could get them right out of the oven, real butter, so good. I mean, for fast food, it was so good.
I just don't, no one cares to hear this, but I don't like biscuits. I don't know why. Too rich. Like even McDonald's. I love McDonald's breakfast, but anything that comes on a biscuit, no thanks.
I have never encountered a food that was too rich for me.
Okay.
Ever.
Oh, I have, yeah.
I like, the more calories you can pack into a food item is usually my favorite kind of food.
Yeah.
Which a lot of it I don't eat anymore because of that, but yeah, I loved their biscuits.
I do get a kick out of looking at, I'm not exactly the best cook or the most creative, or even like I just don't really give the energy that is necessary a lot of times. So I'll do shortcuts and frozen food and stuff, and things that are prepackaged, and then that will have a serving size listing on the back. Mm-hmm. And then you look at the serving size, like, oh, for 4. And it's clearly, who are these 4 people that this is going to be a serving? Does that mean like let's say I'm buying a bag, like just the other day this happened, I bought a bag of frozen cheese lasagna. It was supposed to serve 5 people. Are they assuming that I'm actually also serving that with a salad, a loaf of bread, but no, that's the only thing we're eating.
Well, I think also the high calorie foods, they will list them as multiple servings so that on the calories per serving they can keep the number lower.
Basically. Yeah, it looks like a lower number.
Yeah, this is purely guessing. I haven't actually studied it, so I might be lying.
No, I think we're dead on.
So probably.
Dead on. I want you. Well, first of all, one last thing before we move too far from me bringing up Crash and Burn. Did you end up are you using any of that material?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Not all of it. Like there's three of the jokes that I did at Crash and Burn. It has taken me almost a full year to make them into something that actually works.
Okay.
And then there were a couple other that I was using, and still actually there's about 3 or 4 that I use. So maybe a little less than half of the 20 minutes.
Okay.
Which is really, I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah, and, that's what I was just going to add. I was going to follow up with that. Now, there's been another run of that since then. I don't see any reason that Tim Slagle's going to stop doing that. So let's say that you find out a name for next year, and they're like, oh, Martha Keller, I'm friends with Martha. I'm going to ask her what she thought of it and if I should do it. What would you tell that person?
I would say absolutely do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely do it and make the most of the writing sessions that we did. And it was so fun to just be part of a team where every show we were all had an equal stake in it, because we each did 20 minutes and we just rotated the order.
Yeah.
And so we were all doing a show together instead of it being, which, like, it's great here because I've always gotten to work with other really funny comics and nice, like Brandy and Mike this week are great.
Brandy Brown and Mike Lester working with you this week, yeah.
They're both super funny, but it's just always a little bit feeling of separate when there's a headliner, feature, and MC. It's like you each have your own part. And when it was Crash and Burn, like, it was just you were forced to interact with the people you're working with. Yeah. And which I like doing anyway because I love other comics, but it was fun that we were all a team and watched each other's sets, and And Emily and Brian are just great, so I'm happy that we're still friends.
Yeah, and I think I don't think I've said this officially on the podcast, but I saw it in print now. Emily's officially living in Minneapolis now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she moved back like Easter, right around Easter.
Yeah, I haven't crossed paths with her yet, so. But.
Yeah, she's in Cleveland right now, I think.
Okay.
So.
And I saw there was an article written in one of the local papers here. Guy came in. Did you read the review? Or not a review, but a little synopsis of your show the other night?
Oh, I didn't read it.
Oh, yeah. And he said that you...
Was
look at the look on your face.
Was he mad?
No, it was great. But it mentioned that you're doing some new material.
Yeah, there was a guy here Wednesday night who had a little notepad and asked me some questions after.
Who are you, guy?
I'm glad he didn't write anything bad because I wasn't sure. Because I was leaving with Emily and...
Yeah, he mentioned that Emily was here that night as well.
And somebody... I guess me and Mike and Emily were walking out together, and so I didn't have a ton of time. And I didn't know the writer would be here. Okay. So I was afraid he might have been mad that I didn't have a ton of time, but I'm glad he wasn't mad.
Yeah, next time warn you that you got a guy from a publication in the audience. Right?
I mean, it's nice that he wanted to write something. I appreciate it. So
yeah. How much are you on the road right now?
Not a lot. Like I did Madison, Wisconsin, Easter, like the week leading up to Easter. And then here, and that's it. Like I'm going to do a tour of the South of one-nighters with my friends, some other comics in Austin, Pat Dean and Avery Moore.
Okay, awesome.
So we're going to go like from Austin down to Houston and then Louisiana and then Atlanta, Athens, a bunch of places in North Carolina.
Oh, cool. Like at bars or comedy clubs or?
Venues that are not like the regular comedy clubs, but places where you can do like one night.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Oh, very cool.
We're trying to go to places that are around 200 seats. Okay. So not huge, but fun. It should be fun.
Places like, I know you've worked, we've talked about it briefly, like my buddy's bar in Chicago, At North. Something like that, right?
Yeah, although I don't know if they seat 200.
Probably less, right?
They were.
It's really small.
Yeah, but that was really fun. Jim was super nice.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. So on my drive over here, I want to know what you think about this. You walked over here, I assume. It's hot today in Minneapolis. It's
pretty
in the
hot.
90s, right?
Yeah.
So on my drive over here through downtown, there's a venue, people waiting outside for a concert tonight already. It was like 2:30 when I drove by. This young guys, mostly guys, in their jeans and black T-shirts, standing in line for a general admission show tonight. 5 bands that starts around, I don't know, like 3 more hours from now. They're all going to see Slayer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Slayer, am I thinking of a different band? Were they around in the 80s?
Oh, yeah. Slayer's
so
like Brian
one.
Posehn. Slayer!
Okay. Who are the other bands?
Something called Lamb of God and Anthrax. You've heard of Anthrax.
I have definitely heard of Anthrax.
Yeah, they've been around a long time. Who were the other ones? I briefly looked at the list, but the headliner is Slayer. And I thought, why are people standing out here 2:30 in the afternoon? But it actually starts at 5. Is there a band that would get you to stand outside with your general admission tickets to get a good spot in a black T-shirt in 95 degrees? Either now or in the past.
100%. I would have done that for Prince. I did stand in line. I mean, we stayed outside stayed up all night for tickets to his Purple Rain concert when I was in high school.
You waited in line to buy the tickets?
Yeah. But like if he were around, I would for sure do that. Like Miranda Lambert.
Really? Have you seen Miranda Lambert in concert? I have, actually.
No, and I missed her when she came to Austin. I was so bummed.
Yeah, I'm not really a country fan, but yeah,
she's
I've seen her.
So good. I'm totally blanking out. Oh, I love Florida Georgia Line.
Okay.
They're like considered bro country.
They sure are.
But I just love pop music. So any country, I love country separately from pop, but I also love pop country.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Alvin and the Chipmunks ever did a tour, I would go to that as well. I like a lot of different kinds of music. REO Speedwagon, I would want to see.
Really? Mm-hmm. REO. Yeah, Florida Georgia Line. They perform so often you would never have to wait in the line that long.
Really?
Yeah, it seems like they're in Minnesota twice a year. It seems.
I've never seen them come through Austin when I've been there, but I haven't been there year round for a while, so maybe they've come when I've been gone.
You know, there are people younger than us that have never had to wait in line to buy concert tickets, because I have memories of doing that too. I went to college in Duluth, Minnesota, and I remember REM was going to play a concert down in Minneapolis, and I remember my buddy and I going to a Video Vision. I mean, there's another thing that's from the past, a VHS rental, movie rental place. We went there because they had the Ticketmaster outlet in Duluth. We were 2 of 4 people waiting in line at 10 a.m. on a Saturday to get tickets for a show in Minneapolis. But the reason I'm even bringing that part up is because, remember the band 9 Inch Nails?
Yes.
Yeah, they're doing that now.
Really?
They're selling tickets no more online. Their tour is on-site sales only.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I know.
Wow. Well, we stayed up all night to get tickets to Prince and the Revolution at the LA Forum, and our tickets weren't terrible, but they certainly weren't on the floor, you know. We were in at the Forum, it was like in the middle was the floor, which I guess is where they would have sporting events when it wasn't being used for concerts, maybe. And then we were the first tier up from that on the left. It was so great, though. It was such a great concert. I've never been more excited than I was at that show my whole life.
Did you say it was the Purple Rain tour?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's probably...
Yeah. It was amazing. The whole thing was amazing. And it was my very first concert I ever went to.
Oh, okay.
And it was, for sure, still is one of the most exciting times I've ever had.
Have you done the tours thing here now since he passed and gone to Paisley Park? Have you done that?
No, I drove by and saw First Avenue, but I've never gone to Paisley Park.
Oh, okay.
Is that something you can just drive up to?
It's not... I don't know the hours of when they give tours.
But they give tours? Mm-hmm. I did not know that. Mm-hmm. I guess now I'd be kind of sad because he's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that was great. His show. God, he was so great.
He was. I saw him a few times, but it was maybe just once, but it was 20 years after you did, probably. It was when he was doing, when he was, more known as a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh,
it wasn't doing the, controversial songs.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Very good. I didn't like it that much, to be honest.
Purple Rain was...
But yeah, I mean, that era of his career was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Another thing that's going on is there's another Star Wars movie. Is that on your radar?
I haven't seen The Last Jedi yet, so I will see that before. As you mean the Han Solo movie? Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm like, maybe I'll ask her if she's gonna see the new Star Wars movie. And as I was writing something out, I wrote new Star Wars movie Solo, and I'm thinking, oh my god, if I ask her is she gonna see the new Star Wars movie Solo, it sounds like I'm asking her if she's going by herself. You're gonna go by yourself, right?
I mean, I might, but I don't know. I don't go to a ton of movies in theaters.
Yeah.
Mostly because I do other stuff during the day, and then at night, a lot of times do stand up and stuff. So I'm not against going to it, but I don't have any immediate plans to go.
Yeah. I have been buying advance tickets for every Star Wars movie that's been coming out, in the last several years. This is the first one I haven't.
How did you like The Last Jedi? I haven't seen it yet.
I liked it.
I really love Adam Driver as the bad guy because he plays him with where you kind of have some compassion for him.
I can see that. Yeah.
You don't feel that though.
No, I can see that. My wife got me to watch Girls with her, so I sometimes have a hard time separating actors from their character different like one character they do from a different character they do.
Yeah.
Like Woody Harrelson's going to be in this new Star Wars movie that comes out tonight or tomorrow or whatever. I don't like that. I don't like that Woody Harrelson's in it. Because I know who Woody is. I know that he was in, all these other famous movies and famous roles.
Have you seen True Detective?
Yes.
So that
he was great in that.
But that couldn't be farther away from Woody from Cheers.
That's true, and I didn't think about Woody from Cheers when I watched that. So you're right.
Woody Harrelson is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody play a bad guy who thinks he's a good guy the way that he does in True Detective. It's so good.
I could see that.
It's so good.
I could see that. Yeah. So anyway, I'm holding off on the Star Wars thing. It's something I talk about a lot on this podcast. So we can move on from that, though. This Is Not Happening. You did an episode of This Is Not Happening.
Yes,
on Comedy Central.
Some people on the internet were mad about it, but
I was not going to bring that up, but I did notice that. What the fuck, people? So what that means that you read comments?
Well,
or someone...
I've only seen 2 mean ones, and no one has tweeted at me that I've seen after that. But the night that it aired,
oh,
geez. Are they talking to us?
I'm pretty sure that voice was Cy Amundsen. He's probably going back there to take a shower.
When it aired.
What's up, dude?
Hey,
I'm such a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you.
Show tonight.
Awesome.
Shit about me, Justin.
Too late. That's what we fill the first 5 minutes of the show with every week.
You're a trash person. It's
Nice
nice to meet you.
to meet you. I didn't like how when we taped it. Comedy Central always gets the best audiences for anything they tape. So when we taped This Is Not Happening, it was really fun. The crowd was awesome, and I felt really happy afterwards, even though I was very nervous about the fact that my story didn't really have an ending.
Okay.
And then, it has an ending. It just isn't like a great punchline ending.
I've watched a lot of segments from that show, and that's not uncommon.
Well,
really, Cy, who just popped his head in here, has been on that show.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. I'm gonna watch his. They were really nice, and it was really fun. And then when it aired, to me, it didn't come across as having gone as well as it felt like it did in person. And then
did you watch it?
I watched it the night that it aired.
Okay.
And I wasn't super excited about how. I wished that I had done better, is the long and short of it. Okay. And then I looked on Twitter, which is a mistake, right after it aired, and one guy tweeted at me, that was hard to watch. And then another guy tweeted much angrier and said, really, a story with no punchline, way to disrespect Ari, meaning Ari Shaffir. And then you're lucky it airs after midnight. Like, he was really mad. I was like, Jesus.
Some people.
But I haven't looked online. I haven't watched. I haven't looked for any other comments, because after those, I was like, well, I guess I don't need to be reading stuff that people say online about things, because nothing good can come of it. So.
Well, I watched it on YouTube, and there were positive ones, as well as a few negative.
Yeah, I haven't seen the negative one. I haven't looked at the comments on the online version, but...
And no, these were people that added you, atted you on Twitter, then that's why you saw that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to tell the story really fast for people that might have heard me tell it a couple weeks ago, but I got caught kind of disrespecting a guy, an athlete, on Twitter, just the other day. I did not
Really?
at him. I just, it's a guy that plays for the Minnesota Twins, pitcher that did a really, really bad job pitching about a month ago. And I made a comment on Twitter, and like 2 weeks later, I get a notification that someone liked. The only person that liked that tweet of mine was him 2 weeks later. The guy that it was about.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I felt, and it wasn't like super mean. It was basically saying you did a shitty job tonight pitching, and you'll probably be back in the minor leagues after this game. And I was right. He was back in the minor leagues after the game.
Oh, no, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
Well, hopefully he'll come back to the major. I don't follow professional sports, but I hope he makes it back to the major leagues.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But it's showing. I like to believe that that's showing that he has a sense of humor about it. That he could like on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got scolded by Travis Tritt one time, and it really hurt. It really hurt my feelings, but I started it, so and I was like, I can't blame him.
What did you say to Travis Tritt?
Well, it was right after the election and the Grammys of like 2017. The Grammys are one of the award shows. Somebody famous had said something about something political, and then Travis Tritt had tweeted, stick to entertainment. No one wants to hear your political opinions, which I don't agree with that stance at all. I mean, and I'm not going to go off on a rant, but anyway, people are entitled to their opinion. I mean, including people who I disagree with. But he tweeted that, and then I tweeted, because I thought we were about to turn into Nazi Germany, I was like, if you have a public voice, you have a responsibility to stand up for what's right. And then he tweeted back something like, my only responsibility is to entertain my fans. That's what they buy tickets for. And then it wasn't that bad, but I felt bad because I love Travis Tritt, and
you took him to task.
Well, and then some of his fans were mad, and
of course.
But then
once the fans catch on.
But then I was like, I did say something really critical and provoking, so I can't. That's the thing I keep trying to not do on Twitter, is like say something really forcefully that I mean, but then realize after the fact I didn't need to say it in a way that would make people angry, because then people get angry, and then I'm like, of course I got angry. The way I said it was very I can't think of the word, but
aggressive. Yeah,
or just like I don't know if aggressive is I wouldn't say I'm super aggressive, but definitely some cuss words and anger behind things that I feel strongly about sometimes. Yeah.
That's okay.
So
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You haven't made up with Travis Tritt since then?
No, but I still love him.
Still love him.
I still love him. Okay. I love his music.
There's one more thing we're going to talk about baskets for a little bit, but first I got one more thing, and this is something I heard the other morning. Paul Simon, speaking of music, Paul Simon, of course you know who that is, Simon and Garfunkel. Did you hear about this the other day? Last weekend he was doing a concert, screwed up the lyrics, forgot the lyrics to one of his songs. So the song finishes, and he kind of stops things and goes, all right, I apologize to everybody that I forgot the words to that song. To make it up to you, I'm going to punish myself, and I'm going to sing a part of a song that I'm known for, that I despise, that I just hate. He used the word loathe, actually, that I loathe. And then he performed a bit of one of his songs that he loathes, and the crowd fucking ate it up.
What song?
Well, I'm going to tell you that, but what I want to know from you is, what do you think of when, like, if Prince was like still around and was like, you know what? The truth is, I hate singing Purple Rain. I know all you guys love it. I hate Purple Rain. The song was, I wrote it down here. It was the 59th Street Bridge song, the Feeling Groovy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good song.
It's a good song. Martha wants to hear it, right? It's a Simon and Garfunkel song. And, he loathes it, but performed a bit of it to punish himself. What do you think about that when someone says they hate their own song?
I mean, if you do something over and over again, you would get sick of it. Like, I don't think that's that weird. Comedy is very different from music in terms of how quickly people get sick of hearing the same thing.
Yeah, it's completely unfair to comedians how quick you have to turn stuff over, really.
Well, but still, if I'm doing a long set, I will do some jokes that are really old to fill that much time. And there's some of my jokes I'm so tired of, I don't want to ever do them again. Mm-hmm. But that is a motivation to work on new stuff. But I think with music, like, it doesn't matter how many great songs you write, people are still gonna I love listening to old Fleetwood Mac, and I'll never not. There's so many musicians that I will for the rest of my life want to hear their songs, old and new, you know.
Yeah.
But I can totally see why they would get sick of doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Do you have satellite radio in your car?
No.
There's a Fleetwood Mac station now.
When I bought my car, it had like 3 months of Sirius radio. But then it was like, it's so expensive, and if you want the version of it that comes with the Howard Stern show, it's the most expensive. And I was like, I'm not paying
Martha?
like $60 a month.
Let me tell you that I went through the same thing, and all I wanted was Howard Stern for the 90% of why I wanted to stick with it. I told the people when they kept sending me stuff and calling me, I said, look, no matter what price, I will not pay you for the base one. But if you can give me a reasonable price with the Howard Stern package, I will sign. So that's what I'm giving you. If you agree to that, then we got a deal. They gave me a awesome price for everything. I have everything, the all access, and I flat out told them that. Listen, you can put Howard on the higher tier. I will not pay for the higher tier price.
Yeah. Well, maybe after the show you can tell me how much you're...
Yeah. I signed up for a whole year for really good
cheap
price for everything. Yeah. Anyway, now let's talk about Baskets, the TV show, more than just that you're going to be doing a volunteer shift at Arby's on Tuesday.
We got jobs at Arby's.
You got jobs
it's
at Arby's.
exciting.
You have a temp job on Tuesday at Arby's.
It's exciting.
I read somewhere you said this was season 3 was your favorite.
Yes.
True?
Season 3 was my favorite episode. I mean, as far as the storylines and watching the show, I loved shooting every season. I love the people that I get to work with every year. There's a lot of people who've been there all 3 seasons, and then there's like camera crews have changed because each season we've had a different director of photography.
Okay.
Is that what it's called? DP? I don't know show business terms. All of a sudden I'm like, is that the right? Anyway, but all of them have been great. But and the first season I was on the set almost all the time, and so that was the most fun to make because I got to be there all the time.
Okay.
But as far as watching it, like this season, because to me it was much more silly and upbeat, and even though there was some sad stuff, it wasn't overall a sad season.
Mm-hmm.
And then the season finale is my favorite episode out of all 3 seasons.
It's really good.
I
watched all season 3. It's really good.
When I was watching, I'm not in the finale, so I feel comfortable heaping praise on it.
I gotcha, yeah.
Like at the first commercial break, I texted the director, Jonathan Kreisel, and said, "This is the perfect TV episode. I love it so much."
Oh, that's awesome.
It was so good. So, yeah, I love it. And they just announced officially today about season 4. Yeah,
congratulations.
This morning. So
I don't know why I felt like I'd already read that somewhere, and then today
you had, because Zach said it in a magazine interview a while ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm reading this today. I'm like, official. I feel like I already knew that, but okay.
Yeah. Zach said it in an interview in like maybe February. And then, but FX made their official announcement today.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, it's a really good, nice group of people and like a fun, amazing time to get to have, you know. And it's also like the reason I'm getting to do stand up and headline. I wasn't headlining. I wasn't hardly even working on stand up for a couple years before we did the first season. I was, you know, went through a tough time and just wasn't putting a lot of effort into stand up for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, I started working on it again and have gotten to do a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have if not for Baskets.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you performed on stage in the same night as Zach since Baskets?
We did a couple times. There's a really awesome theater in LA called Largo.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
And we've done shows there a couple times, been on the same show. And I love Zach so much that anytime I get to see him is really fun. So it's super fun to do stand-up with him. But we did a marketing thing in March. And then, like, we all went to lunch after, and it was super fun. He's just always in a good mood, and he's a fun person to be around.
You were saying that during the commercial break of the last episode that you sent a message to Jonathan Kreisel. Do you have a thing that you do to watch the shows? Are you by yourself?
I'm usually by myself. Yeah. Because I feel self-conscious around other people. I'm noticing what they laugh at, and if I laugh at something that they don't laugh at, I'm like, why didn't they think that was funny? And then being more focused on what other people are thinking instead of focusing on the episode, you know?
Mm-hmm. I took some notes here from myself while I was watching them. These are just random things I'm going to throw out to you. The sign spinner.
Mm-hmm.
Love
he
that.
was great. That
Love
night,
that character.
when we did the opera at the rodeo night, a night at the opera at the rodeo, I think it was called.
Yeah.
It was so fun because they decorated. It was at the arena that's a real rodeo arena outside of LA.
Okay, it is.
And sorry. They decorated it so it looked really cool. And then we filmed from everybody started getting there maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they shot until well after midnight. And I stayed for hours after I could have left because I just wanted to hang out because it was such a magical, fun time.
Yeah.
It was so fun doing that episode.
How about the opera music itself? Are you a fan of that?
Yeah, and also one of the reasons I thought that was great is because the guy who plays the opera singer is a real opera singer.
I figured he had to be, yeah.
And the voice that you hear is him. He made a recording of himself. So when they shot it, he's lip syncing, but it's something he sang earlier and recorded.
Sure.
And it was so cool that Jonathan Kreisel, the director, that he found a real opera singer. You know, he's so good at finding great people, and we keep having the season 2 at the funeral. The guy who gives the eulogy, the pastor, he was so amazing, and Jonathan just always finds all these amazing people. It's so great.
So awesome. And we still don't know why your character Martha, wears a cast.
No, but Zach told me while we were shooting season 3 that if we did a season 4, we would address it.
Oh.
So we talked a little bit about it.
I mean, do you have an idea of how you would like it to be?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it because I told Jonathan when I saw him, and he said he was thinking kind of the same thing. I just think it should be ridiculous.
Oh, it's got to be.
You know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, if you have already told them an idea, you don't need to share it here. We'll find out later if what you said.
If they don't do it, I'll tell you what.
Perfect. Perfect. I love the fact that I wrote it down here in episode 2. You in Law and Order, bartenders are shifty for no reason. I love that. Was that a line written? I know you've talked about on this podcast your love of Law and Order.
Yes.
So,
but I don't.
That one made me chuckle.
That wasn't an improv, though. I think whoever wrote that episode wrote that, and I don't remember who wrote the episode. I'm sorry to say, but we have great writers.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to point out that it was one of the episodes. It was the opera episode when they have the fireworks at the end, and there's all this chaos among like the overdrafted credit cards and stuff, and like whether there should be only the 2 fireworks or more.
Yeah,
and then I was like sitting on the couch getting stressed about that. Like, yeah, maybe it's because I'm having some money problems here and there right now. Well, like, don't. Yeah. I'm on his side, or I'm on. I'm on. Was it Chip's side? Like, no, don't stop spending the money. Stop.
Yeah, Dale, I think, was freaking out about the money. Yeah.
And Christine is going, no, 2's not enough.
Yeah.
I was feeling the stress of the expensive fireworks.
Yeah, it definitely. I felt watching the episode when we were filming it. It was fun to see all the different pieces of it that they shot. But when I watched the episode, it's definitely as stressful. Even though I knew what was going to happen, I was still
right.
Help.
The line, another line that made me laugh. It wasn't yours, but it was when Louis' character Christine is around those French, the French clowns, and he says, "Don't juggle them," talking about the cats.
Louis, so funny.
It's such the way that they leave these lines in I don't know if they're written or what. It doesn't matter to me, but where it's just like this dry, hilarious line, and then the scene ends is just the best.
Louis and Zach both improv a lot, and they're so good at it. It's so fun.
When will, so obviously now we know it's official, there's going to be a season 4. When will you go and do anything?
I think that we are going to shoot it. They pushed it back a little. I think Zach may be doing a movie between now and then. So instead of shooting in the fall like we normally do, instead of shooting fall of 2018, we'll shoot at the beginning of 2019. So like February.
So we're going to have to wait longer for the next season, is what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think you're Game of Thrones or something? Or making me wait?
I mean, for me it's great because the later it starts, the more time I get to spend in Austin consecutively.
Oh,
you know?
Okay.
But at the same time, like, I wish there wasn't as long of a delay just because I've never gotten used to waiting a year to see a new season of a show that I watch, you know, like Game of Thrones to be, you know, like it just seems like a long time to wait.
It does.
But hopefully people will still remember it when it comes back. We hope.
Yeah. How about 25 years from now when the reboot?
When the reboot
of Baskets.
I would be so shocked if there was a reboot of Baskets ever. Partly it's like Zach and Louie and I are all middle-aged now for the original boot, so to reboot it, we'd be
go back and what we mentioned earlier, like with Star Wars. Harrison Ford just did a Han Solo character about a year ago. I mean, you're never too old to do a role again.
Yeah, I just also this is not a blanket statement to apply to any reboots or all reboots, but just I would rather do something new than then redo something we've already done.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's easy to say that when I know I will be gainfully employed for another year.
Right.
If I were not, I might, let's take the green cast on the road and do casino riverboats.
Let's get that cast out of the Smithsonian. I'll put it back on my arm.
Yeah, whatever, to make a living. So, yeah.
Yes. Perfect. Is there any other acting gigs you've been doing in the last year we should look out for? Or?
Yeah, except one. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about. I did one in January. Was it the end of January and early February? I can't remember. But that one, I don't think I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about because it was untitled and I think there was a non-disclosure, just a secret lover of a director who likes to keep secrets.
Sure. Okay. I will remind you that when the first time you did this podcast was right around when your role in Spider-Man: Homecoming had been announced, and we talked about that.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Then, in what? Okay, this is so middle of June to the beginning of July, I'll be in Santa Fe, New Mexico, playing a small part in a low-budget independent film. That seems like it's going to be really fun.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything else about it, so it's probably dumb that I mentioned it at all.
You have a role that we know. Okay, it's good.
It should be fun, I think. I've never been to Santa Fe. I heard it's really cool.
No.
So.
Me neither. You know what I think of when you say that New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico, right? Is I worked at a restaurant years ago, and I worked with with this couple that had moved here from Santa Fe, and the one guy, it's about the only thing I remember from this job, is he told me that because of the dry heat in Santa Fe that he never had to wear deodorant, and now in Minnesota he had to wear deodorant, but back then he never did. That's the first thing I think of when someone mentions that.
But even dry heat is still heat, and you would sweat.
Yeah, I think he was probably wrong. I think probably nobody was telling him. I don't know.
Yeah, some people are weird.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Let's see. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, we have a little bit more time here. I think, we covered all that stuff. This is the one that I told you before we started recording that I was saving something for a female guest.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I listened to you, actually, on Janet Varney's podcast, the JV Club.
She's so great.
That was a really good episode. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Thanks.
But you guys talked a bit about high school days and school and stuff and growing up. So this is what I want to get to. My daughter told me recently, my daughter who was 11 in 6th grade, told me recently that a friend of hers, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time it's happened, she said, yeah, we had a fight today and she called me the B word.
Okay.
First time being called a bitch. And I was like, oh, this is sort of like you're getting older now. This kind of goes right along that. Everybody's hormones and more fights and bickering and all that stuff. Do you remember the first time? Or has it not happened yet?
No one has ever said a bad word about me, Justin. Then never, to this day.
Then I apologize for even assuming that you would have any sort of answer for this.
No, I have a twin sister who we would call each other bitches, and all the time. I know that as soon as puberty hits, girls go berserk. Everything is suddenly very dramatic, and a lot of it centers around friendship, even though boy craziness is a part of it. But ranking your friends according to who's your best friend, having feuds over nothing. I don't know why, because guys in their own way, I think, have a lot to deal with in puberty, but there's so much drama and soap opera stuff happening with adolescent girls. A lot of them, maybe not all of them. And maybe the girls who get into sports are more grounded because they have a place to focus that intense energy. Whereas me and my friends, like, there was nowhere to put all this energy that you suddenly had. And so it just went into fighting with people, making up with people, fighting with somebody different, ganging up on people, being ganged up on. It was all like crazy.
Yeah.
But I hope my niece, she and her brother, who are just under a year apart, they just started playing volleyball. And God, I hope that they get into sports.
That's what we just suggested to my daughter last night, is volleyball.
It gives them someplace to focus their energy, and I think that can make some of the hard stuff less hard. Because it's not all swirling around all the time. It's the same. It's not as intense, but as an adult, when I'm exercising a lot, I have more like peace of mind. I feel more physically comfortable, and then I just feel better overall. You know.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't be concerned or anything.
That, like, girl, I'm honestly shocked that this is the first time your daughter has heard bitch, because I know we started hearing bad words in, like, 3rd and 4th grade.
Oh, I mean, she's heard it, but I think this was the first time it was where she was the direct recipient of that.
That's so tough.
What it was is she was it was some dumb little it was a rumor that was going around among one girl about one girl. Other people were telling some story, and then it got to somebody, and then somebody was getting scolded for telling another like an 8th person this story, and my daughter was like, "Why are you getting mad? It's not a secret." You know, why can't she know if everybody already knows? And then the girl who was about just said, "Bitch." Oh.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when my niece and nephew tell me that someone says something mean to them, it's gonna be devastating. I can't imagine. Was your daughter really sad about it, or did she think it was kind of funny and weird? What was her feeling about it?
Not as, thankfully, not as sad. Not really. Either maybe she's hiding that feeling to me, possibly, but no, it was more matter of fact.
That's
I didn't really notice any pride in it, and there wasn't really too much sadness. It was just kind of like maybe almost her way of going, "What the fuck is that, Dad? Like, why is she?"
I can't stand kids having their feelings hurt. Even not even only my niece and nephew. Just I can't take kids getting their feelings hurt. So, yeah, I don't know. Adolescence is like, that's when kids start as a extracurricular activity hurting each other's feelings, and for sure hurting their parents' feelings, most kids. And I don't know as an aunt if any of that will be directed at me. I don't live out there, so when I go out and see them, usually I bring them presents and just try to pave the road to goodwill with bribery. And so far, it seems to be working.
Yeah. Do they watch baskets? Do they know you as your TV form?
They have, but I asked my brother to not let them watch it because I don't think it's appropriate for kids, you know? Especially the first season. They watched it. I guess, it's nice that my brother wanted to watch it and they watched it, but then after the finale, I was like, they should not be this is an adult-themed show.
Yeah.
It's not for kids.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they won't. But they know I'm on TV, and I have yet to do a single thing that impresses them. It's very frustrating. They are not impressed by that. We're not impressed by Spider-Man. They're just like, nope.
Oh.
Yeah, they weren't scornful of it. They just aren't. I don't know who I would have to work with or meet for them to be like, oh my God, they've never.
It is really weird to think about what impresses children, because my gig, this thing that I do at Acme, host this podcast, they don't know really any of you guys, any of the,
Right.
Martha Kelly, they have no idea who you are. Last
Right.
week, Shane Moss, they don't know who that is. They don't know who 99% of the people that are on this guest or the guests on the show, who they are. However, Miranda Sings,
Oh, yeah.
who I think performed here like on a Sunday night a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mentioned that to my daughters, and it's the fucking cool. Like, I wasn't near her. I wasn't here that night. She wasn't on the podcast, but I've heard them repeat to other people. Yeah, and she was on. She did a show at that place, the Dad Works. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Well, and YouTube, I realize there's some people that have YouTube channels that my niece and nephew watch all the time, and they'd be excited. They love guys who record themselves playing video games and making jokes and funny noises while they play video games. And then there's also a kid who I actually love when I realized he wasn't like Logan Paul.
Oh, ugh.
So there's a kid who has a YouTube channel, and he just makes videos of himself trying different foods, trying different experiments, different products, and being goofy. And for a while, I was kind of like, why do they like this? And then they watched one, because they will watch them on my phone in the car with me.
Sure.
And he was talking about, it was right after the Logan Paul stuff happened. So I was all of a sudden like, oh my God, what are these monsters that kids are watching on YouTube?
Right.
And then this guy, and I'm sorry, I can't think of his name, but he was like, talking about how he came to America and how he thinks, hard work is important, but also like money, how much money you make is not important. It's the kind of person that you are and how you treat people and being good to your family and stuff. I was like,
so he must get like only 2 or 3 views and not 2 or 3 million.
He's super popular.
Okay, wow.
So that was a relief. Yeah, but that's who, if I could somehow get on that, if I could persuade him to have me on his show, then my niece and nephew would be excited. But I'm sure he wouldn't have me on. I'm not.
Yeah, there's someone named Eliza or Liza or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have to be like, she would have to mention No Laugh Track podcast for.
Yeah, it's so.
Or Acme. Yeah.
It's its own world, and they're like, a lot of those kids are like millionaires.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should hate them for that.
But if they're saying what that guy said, I think that's a good message for kids. So I don't begrudge him being successful.
Yeah, we certainly.
But some of them,
more of that.
Some of them I don't care for.
Is there? I looked at my notes here. I have 2 more things I want to bring up about baskets. Is there a story behind your last name? They don't use your real last name on the show. Is there a story behind your last name on the show?
No, they just made it up.
Just made it up.
Yeah.
Use your real first name, made up a last name.
Yeah, during the pilot is when they made, Zach told me I could make up my own name, and I was going to, and then I got an email from him saying, sorry, they already made the name tag, the Costco name tag for you.
Oh. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, hey, once the name tag is made, it's...
too late.
That's the new etched in stone, is the name tag has been made.
Yeah.
And then finally, this is a completely random thing. I don't even know what I'm expecting you to say about this, but these obscure roles in Hollywood are sort of interesting to me. I found an interview of the guy that is the body double for Zach.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan,
yes.
Yeah. It's such an odd life.
Yeah.
I read a whole thing. Sometimes I'm Chip, another I'm Dale. I prefer being Chip, and it's just crazy.
It's so funny that he has that he prefers Chip over Dale.
Yeah.
Dale is my favorite character. He's one of my favorite characters of all time, but just because...
or maybe I have it wrong. Maybe he prefers Dale, now that I think about it. Prefers Dale, I believe. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I just love when Zach is Dale because it's so ridiculous. And everything that Dale says is terrible. And there's never any reason for it.
He's just getting so angry.
He's just a jerk to everybody. But then in this season, you get to see a different side of him, which was, I loved that. I just, and Alex, who plays Ken,
Yeah.
He's so great, and I got to hang out with him and talk to him more than we had ever worked together the night at the opera. There was a lot of waiting for scenes to get set up, so just sitting and talking,
Sure.
and he's such a neat person. So,
Is there a Martha body double?
no, well, wait.
Oh yeah, I
A
want to ask
stunt
you.
double.
When you're at
Yeah.
that the strip club and you fall off the stage,
Yeah, that's a stunt double.
it is.
Yeah.
Because I actually rewound it. It was like, can I see the point where where it is her, isn't her? They switch.
It
Looked like you falling backwards.
Yeah, when I read the episode, I was excited because I did a stunt in Spider-Man, even though it didn't make it into the movie. They filmed it, and so I was like, oh, maybe I get to do my own stunt. And then Jonathan was like, you're not doing it. You have to hit the table hard. You are not doing that fall. And then I was glad when I saw what they want.
Okay.
But the woman who did it is so cool, and she just had some padding on, and like,
Is it weird thinking like, oh yeah, they think that you look like me from a distance, or with a
I
little?
find everything about being on camera weird, but it's so fun that I'm like, well, that's just the price of getting to have the best job in the whole world.
Right on.
You know,
Right on.
it's so fun. So, and that episode was really fun and crazy.
All right. I think we did it. Is there anything else we should be mentioning?
When does this air?
This should be posted today. Today, Thursday, May 24th.
Because I promised my friend Matt Belknap that I would mention that Never Not Funny, the Jimmy Pardo podcast,
Is going to be here June
Yes.
3rd.
Yes, and I promised that I would mention it because I love both of them, Jimmy and Matt, and I've known them for a long time.
Awesome.
So,
I have never... you can tell Matt Belknap that he can advertise stuff on this podcast whenever he wants. I'm a big fan. I have listened to Never Not Funny since I was pushing my daughter around, who turns 12 next month. Since I was pushing her around as
Wow.
an infant. When I would take
Awesome.
her for walks is how long I've been listening to Never Not Funny.
so are you going to come to that?
Hell yes.
Oh, good.
Yes, it's a week
Yeah.
from Sunday. Yeah, June 3rd. Yes, I
Yeah.
will be here. I'm looking forward to it. Big time.
Yeah, they're so great.
Yeah, and Jimmy's been a guest on this podcast a few times, and he has done this podcast, and we've recorded at 12 something in the morning and ended after 1 in the morning. We've done
Wow.
that twice, where he's only come in to do like the weekend, and because he's such a generous and nice guy, has stuck around at the club here so we can record after his second show on Friday night.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's so
doesn't need to do
good.
that, and has done that twice for me. So he is. He
I
was
love
already one of
him.
my favorites, but
Me too, and it made me realize I got to see him do a headline set here one time. When a lot of comics that you see in LA, you never get to see him do like an hour because everyone's doing short sets out there.
oh yeah,
So I was excited that I was here when he was here, and I got to see him do a headlining set, and it was so great. He's so great.
how did you did you recently do their show, or where did you run into?
We just started.
How did you get this message? Is what I'm asking.
I tweeted that I was here this week, and then Matt tweeted at me.
Hey, tell people that we're coming.
I was like, of course.
Oh, okay, I missed that. All right, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably mention it myself on this podcast next week.
I kind of am sad I'm not going to be here for it, but I'm sure I'll get to see them at some point.
We'll save you a seat. You can come back.
I'll be in California. I won't get to come to it, but hopefully I'll see them do a live podcast sometime.
Yeah, it's the first time doing it here, so
That's cool.
it's exciting. Well, Martha, thank you for spending time with me again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, people need to, if they're listening to this on the day it's posted, which hopefully they are, come to the show tonight. We have air conditioning here at Acme. It will not feel like 95 degrees inside. It will.
Yeah, it's nice in here.
It will be comfortable. And if you don't want to come Thursday, 2 chances Friday and Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Super fun.
See you next year, Martha. Come
Thanks.
back.
Thanks, Justin.